Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host
Chip.
What is up, Chip? Man, another phenomenal day today. Lots of positive news, a lot of developments in this space. The SEC and Ripple, XRP. There's an article we're going to get into. Caught erasing documents. What is up with that? And man, there's mass crypto adoption coming. I see it in Hyperdrive right now. All sorts of big entities that are doubling down and getting ready to go all in the crypto space, man. Every single day is a new amazing day. I'm looking forward to it. Ready to kick this thing off?
Yeah, let's do this. We got a lot to get to. Let's go, guys.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Right. Hey, man. Good to see you, Jeff. Jeff, before we get started, I just want to do a big shout out to Permission.io. And we had Charlie Silver on last night, which was pretty awesome because we got into some cool topics. There's no script. We just come on the show. We'll just talk about crypto and everything. And one of the things that we did talk about was Permission.io and how they're revolutionizing the power of the data, putting it back in your hands and having the ability to earn crypto for it in the form of the Ask token and Ask Permission. So you go ahead and you go to Permission.io, and Jeff, drop that link in there if you would from the Keep. If you guys not only help out the show, but you guys get some bonus ask in there from On the Chain and from Permission. And the easy thing to do is you install the browser, plug in, and look, this is another project that's just very early in the space. And they are creating an opportunity for you to say exactly how you want to share your data. And no one's going to make money off your back. You control it. You earn the Ask token. And that is how it's done. So, guys, let's jump right into all this goodness that we have going around us right now. There's so many stories that we have tonight. I don't know if we'll get to
big shout out to Patrick all the way over in Alaska. I don't know if I've seen anyone tune in here from Alaska other than Patrick. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I don't think we've had anybody from Alaska. So really well done, man. You got to be the first. You got to be the pilot. You got to be there's always the first one, right? That's what they say.
Always the first. It's always the first.
Always the first.
Man, living the dream. So, man, Australia. Steve Willits from Australia. Good to see you here. Man, Chip, where do you want to kick this thing off? You want to just dive straight into this SEC?
I think we should
Ripple, or do you want to kind of let it simmer?
No. I mean, I think we should get into that, but there's a whole bunch of cool stories we could jump into. I mean, that's part of it. But I think the other big story, there's so many that the whole idea of this people like mass adoption. Well, you nailed it in the beginning. It's happening and it's in full swing right now as we speak. And it's like every day there's a new story, 4 stories, 10 stories. And it's like, especially that we start jumping into Robinhood. It turns out that Robinhood, this success is really owed to crypto. And you know how many? They only have like 7 of them on the platform. And there's one specifically responsible, but Robinhood's that little app for, it sits on your phone and you go buy stocks, but then they added crypto and it had a major impact on their bottom line, at least on the latest quarterly results. So yeah, that's part of the adoption period. People are jumping into crypto, they're buying it, they're packing bags, and they don't care what the SEC is doing. And the rest of the world raised their middle finger to the SEC and said, come at me, bro. No, they didn't say that. They said, we don't care, man. We have crypto regulations. We don't have blurred lines. We have very distinct ways you need to operate. You operate within those lines and everything's going to be cool, bro. SEC, another story. By the way, a bunch of tweets went around and people were like redefining what the SEC meant. And so I'll show some of those. Those are pretty funny too, because there's a lot of things. Sue Every Crypto is one of them by Rob Licker. He said no, he had a different one. Somebody said Sue Every Crypto. So anyway, we'll jump in there. You want to pull that story up?
Man. Yeah, let's get into this story. It's interesting. And we're also going to look at, there's some stuff, Chip, as I'm pulling this up. There were some things going over in Myanmar. And it's so interesting because when you look at Myanmar, probably saying it wrong both times, but it's they've been having a run on the ATMs lately. And every time they say, hey, there's money in the ATMs, and there's another run on ATMs, and there's no currency. it got me to thinking, every time you see them doing that, you're like, I figured, hey, you know what? If there wasn't fiat and they had crypto, there wouldn't be a run on the ATMs. But if there's CBDCs, there could be a run on the control of that CBDC. So just a thought. Food for thought.
Very, very, yeah. There's a lot of food for thought. We kind of jumped in that with Charlie last night, talking about the CBDCs, but I like the optimism from a builder, somebody who's building in the space, someone that's had a lot of success in business, sold a previous company for the 100 million plus mark, and then is optimistic. And I think that's really, we all are optimistic. And we don't let these little things get us down, right, Jeff? Especially when stuff like this comes to the forefront. But why don't you tear into this?
Keep it going. So here you have, finance feeds, right? So SEC v. Ripple, SEC caught erasing documents relevant to the XRP lawsuit. So you kind of go through that, and Chip, I'm looking at this. Is it possible that they actually deleted, some documents? Would they have actually erased something that could be relevant? And then you get down to it, and so you get into this part of the article. Ripple confronts SEC for deleting relevant information. The William Hinman deposition transcript seems to indicate the SEC tried to delete subtopics relevant to the Ripple lawsuit. It says here on page 254, Ripple counsel Feigl claimed it was deleted and pointed the finger at SEC special counsel Michael Seaman. What's the base of that understanding? Read SEC lead counsel George Tenero asked. And here you go. You start getting into the metadata. It said our review of the metadata, if you look, depends on how you present it. But if you go to the second document, it says on some version of it, deleted by Michael Seaman. Man, what do you make of that? How crazy is that?
Yeah, it's, I got to tell you, man, they keep stepping in it over and over again. And it's just, it almost seems like they're self-sabotaging themselves. I don't know. The metadata, deleting documents, it just doesn't seem like a good thing. Now, the funny thing is, do they actually have it there? Because if they don't, I can go look for what they claim to have deleted. Do you have that? Is it in the article there?
It's not in the article.
Okay, if it's
exactly.
I'll take a look at it.
Here, look, it says here, the SEC counsel suggested he asked William Hinman if he directed Seaman to delete it. I mean, does he remember that? The former SEC director answered the question with, I don't recall directing him to do that. Here you have the deleted portion of the document on page 96 was Hinman's answer to the question, other than the issues with respect to Ripple, can you identify any other lawyers that came to you not seeking a no action letter, but seeking guidance with respect to transactions in digital assets? So, if you get into it and you're looking at metadata, maybe it's something that's not so critical, right? But maybe it is. Well, how do we know? And so we got to figure out what are they deleting? Why are they deleting documents?
Well, here we go, right here. So this is the tweet that I saw earlier. This was none other than Crypto Boom, but he said, "Holy crap! Look at this. It looks like the SEC tried to delete and hide information from a document, but Ripple's attorneys found it in the metadata." So here it is, right here. Jeremy Hogan said, "Here's the deleted portion of the SEC doc. You call 10 different law firms. They give you 10 different answers. Each of them has their own particular spin. It's like the white light of your speech went through a prism and came out in 10 different colors of legal advice." Now, one of the other things it said was, Rob Licker said at some point, will the SEC realize Ripple is number one? Yeah, and it keeps getting worse for the SEC every day that passes. Will the judge tolerate this kind of behavior, says Andrew Zell. He's saying even the best legal minds in the space, the ones getting 500,000 to $1 million plus a year, they have no idea what the SEC is doing. There's no roadmap. They're all guessing because we don't know what the hell crypto is at its core. And then we make speeches that are just absolutely complete nonsense. That's Racer XRP, and I think that's spot on. What are the implications? Not obstruction of justice. You're just talking about the SEC deleting portions of the speech while they were drafting it. And then it says, wait, is that the actual deleted passage? I'm sure if you're joking here. Sorry, yes, the actual deleted part. It's actually beautifully written, and of course, alluding to the law is unclear as heck. And of course, let's see another video. Ride it, stallion. Ride it, right? XRP Army. I'm throwing up a little in my mouth reading this, Mr. Hogan. And feel like I stepped into something big. This is XRP Deriv, says that unfolding while I was away, and now I'm lost. Is this enough material here for another episode of Legal Briefs? And it goes on and on and on. But look, the bottom line is, well, somebody's getting fired tomorrow. I guess they'll join Ripple. They've now joined Ripple as the official team. So
that's what happens.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what to make of this either. You know, the whole idea of what this is, but again,
I know it's just one more thing. Just
one more
keep
thing, right?
Stacking it in there. Check out Oscar Morrison, and you know Oscar's over in Iceland, so that's pretty
It's
cool.
late there too, so
it is. Yeah, they're like 4 or 5 hours ahead, maybe 4 hours. It's like midnight. Yeah, 1 o'clock. It's funny how people's memories always get very blurry when they get caught, rather than denying it, which he would do if he hadn't given the order, right? So it always happens. I don't recall that. I don't remember. When was that? That was about a week ago. I have no recollection of that event.
Yeah, geez, I don't know, Jeff. I can't remember anything. Well, truth be told, I'm not sure what happened yesterday. I actually am. But no, you're right. All of a sudden, people are like, well, I don't know. You know, that's the SEC argument. Remember, like, Hinman, he was just a guy that clocked in every day. Nobody knew who he really was. He wasn't like he was a high-ranking official and everything. You can't depose him. I didn't really know anything.
Basim said it was just a section of the speech the SEC removed while they were drafting it. I think people misunderstood as obstruction of justice. Yeah, I mean, that could definitely very well be, but it just enters into that whole narrative of obstruction or of delays or, you know, of tripping over themselves to continuously do the wrong things. It's not, so it could be like Basim is saying, maybe not even nefarious in any way, shape, or form. Just looks that way. That's all.
Yeah, it just looks weird, right? But I mean, it just seems like there's something new every single day. It's not like it's wow, interesting. Yeah, it's not like it's something that's just out of nowhere. I mean, but again, what does it mean anything? Yeah, probably not in the grand scheme of things, but the whole idea that you really get to see the difference between the attorneys that Ripple have hired and representing not only Ripple, but also Garlinghouse and Larson on a different level than the attorneys. And also, too, the attorneys, remember the one, they had the lead attorney that bailed on a Friday, like they buried it in the news. Oh, he left, whatever, you know? Yep. And he went back to private practice. He's like, he looked at the stuff. He studied everything and he goes, I am out of here. I mean, it's one thing to know that you have a chance in hell, but you notice he probably even knew, and of course, it's all speculation, but bailed and suddenly was hired, but then left to go. I mean, it must have been reading the tea leaves there somewhere, saying something doesn't quite look or smell right. And a lot of times, I mean, it is somewhat thin, probably reviewed some of the hearings, some of the transcripts. It's just, the whole thing is, it's just the whole thing is thin, man.
So you look at this, and we've kind of referenced this multiple times, and you look at Hinman, Clayton, and on, where there's always this reference of personal opinion versus official business. And so you have official SEC business, and it just seems they go to these speeches supposedly on behalf of the SEC or as a major representative of the SEC, but then it's their personal opinion. And they always draw that distinction. So in both those scenarios, like with Hinman, it was more personal reference, and in terms of how they came out and spun it to say, hey, it wasn't official. And I think Guitar 6029 says, so Vitalik Buterin isn't safe from the lawsuit. You know, so I find it interesting because, you know, as you look at this, there hasn't been any specific 100% guidance from the SEC, you know, stating that Bitcoin and Ethereum are definitely not securities. You know, they still kind of hit it in kind of like this gray area. Now, the CFTC has come out and referenced digital assets as not being securities. Right. So now you have a conflict between those two. So who knows what could happen? I mean, that's why this case is so critical, Chip.
But I tend to think the CFTC kind of got it right. Okay, there are some instances where a crypto could be a security, but for the most part, the 95% of it, that tweet was just legend saying, hey, stay in your own lane. The CFTC will take care of this because you're dealing with securities, and it's obvious that crypto isn't a security. Now, some of them, maybe, but I keep hearing more and more stuff out of the Fed, all kinds of craziness. It's silly. Oh, DB Cooper, good. He's still alive and well. That's good.
Still alive and well. There he is right there. Hinman thought they were talking about Ripple, the cheap liquor, like Mad Dog 2020.
You got to be of a certain ilk and a certain age to understand that reference right there. But yeah, the cheap liquor.
And I think that Mad Dog was it Ripple or Mad Dog was Mad Dog the wine cooler, or was that a different one?
No, Mad Dog was like a
this
square
is not
bottle.
A wine cooler.
Yeah, let me see. I'll show you the Ripple. Let's see. I'll pull up a picture of it.
One of them had a warning and said this is not a wine cooler, and they had to put that on the bottle because it tasted. I don't know. You remember those? Remember those wine coolers back in the day? They were the worst things on earth.
They were the most. I don't even know how they lasted.
And then they had something called, was it Zima or Zima?
Oh, Zima, yeah, that was like
another thing that was horrible. God.
Some horrible stuff, yeah, along the way. So Mad Dog 2020. Let's see if I can pull that puppy up. Yeah, they had like a square bottle. I was actually right on about that. So let me share the screen here. There you go. There's the Mad Dog. Remember that? Had the MD. Yeah. It's like dragon fruit, and this is the new version of it. The old version of it tasted like it's like very primitive. Like if you had three things like alcohol and something brown to put in it, that's what it tasted like. Maybe I've got some shoe paste over here that I used to use to polish my shoes, and I've got some alcohol. Let's combine.
I guarantee they didn't have dragon fruit back in the day.
No, back in the day. I mean, the early days, it was some nasty stuff, Jeff. It was bad. Now they got this whole line of stuff. I can't even find the old stuff.
It's still probably nasty.
Yeah, the Mad Dog. I never even knew they had the flavors, but the original stuff was like god awful.
And Egg said, "Is that shampoo?" No, that is not shampoo.
I'm trying to find the Ripple. What was Ripple? What was the?
Cisco. That's what it was. It was Cisco, wasn't it? No, there was Cisco, Ripple, Mad Dog, Cisco.
I don't remember Cisco.
Man, oh man.
Was this it right here? Was it right here? Is that it? The Red Ripple?
Possibly.
Light wine served cold. I don't know. Was that it? That doesn't look familiar to me. I can't find anything of the other Ripple.
Oh my god!
I love when people derail us with a comment. The other thing was this. Have you seen this other Ripple that I see in the store?
Wild Irish Rose. There you go.
There you go. That's another one. This one that's in the store. You're in the dairy aisle. And it says Ripple. It's dairy free as it should be. No, wait a minute.
I see that all the time.
As it should be.
Is that XRP?
No, it's like Ripple, dairy free as it should be. 40% less sugar than flavored milk. Okay, well, yeah, flavored milk has sugar. 50% more calcium than milk. But yeah, that's the one that I always see, and I'm always reminded, Ripple. Isn't that interesting?
That's funny.
That must be the. Well, look at the. Oh, hang on a second, Jeff. I just found the money shot right here. Holy cow! There it is, right there. Here's the money shot. There they all are. There's the Cisco.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Night Train, Thunderbird, and Wild Irish Rose. That's it right there. Good night, everybody.
Cisco is the one that said this is not a wine cooler. There's a warning on that.
Because it was turpentine. I think it was what it was. It was some nasty stuff. But Jeff, this is the money shot right there, right? And that's even like the newer version of it. But you remember Night Train? Oh my god! And Thunderbird. Now this was great because this is what they used to call the winos. They would be sitting there with the paper bag and they'd be drinking, the Thunderbird or Night Train or the Mad Dog 2020. Because back in the day, you could pick it up for like $2.40 for one of these bottles, and you can consume
that was in the cooler next to the 40 ounce. Remember the 40s? You get Old English.
Yeah, Canandaigua, New York, and Naples, New York. Same company as the Wild Irish Rose, but marketed under a different name. Known as Liquid Crack for its reputation of wreaking more than mental havoc on the cheapest tequila.
Oh, Crazy Horse.
Crazy Horse, another, yeah. And you had 18% or 13% by alcohol, one of the two. So you had like two licks of that, and you were just like completely hammered.
Oh, that's crazy. I like
Night Train was 17%. It was just pure alcohol, man.
Hands loaded on the chain. Surprised you even remember your youth with that wine list.
Yeah, really? Well, that's it. Look at this Thunderbird. Look for the pigeon feces. You'll find this is the old bird. I mean, jeez. Wild Irish Rose 18. They were 17 and 18% alcohol. Taste wasn't something you were really going for, Jeff. It was just one thing in mind, and that was pretty much it.
Blitz malt liquor, and then you had you remember Mickey's
wide mouth,
the wide mouth grenades, the little grenades.
That was absolutely awful, Jeff. And then growing up close to Canada, we had the OV in the short little bottles, in Labatt's and all that stuff. We really got off on a crazy tangent tonight, Jeff. Holy cow, we got
to bring it back. Bring it back in. So Cliff Dweller says, just and ask, but why are we reactive to Gensler and not proactive? I bet if we look into his banking days, he bent rules to help his Goldman Sachs investors. That's interesting.
I bet he did a lot of things in his early youth, man.
Need to look at that. I wonder what Gensler's 40 of choice was.
By the way, I've got the new Gensler sound effect here for Mr. Gary. Anytime we launch
oil cans. Remember that? The oil cans. Those are still the oil cans are the best. Man, the Fosters. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, listen to this, Jeff. So I think anytime we launch into we talk about Gensler, I think we got to play this official sound effect. Now, those of you out there, you guys may recognize it. If you do, please drop it. First of all, if you recognize who's saying it, and as a bonus, where was it first? Where was it heard? It's kind of like a lot of stuff wrapped in there. So who said it? And let me go ahead and remove this from the stream. But anytime we talk about Gensler, I think this ought to be the official one. And hats off to Mr. B for tweeting this one out, because I was right there with him when he responded to anytime he heard Gary, he heard this. And let's go ahead and pop it up here. Here we go. It's going to.
Gary! 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 Gary!
Okay, so well, don't say Jeff. First off, who said it? Second of all, where did they say it? You know what I mean?
Gary!
Oh my God.
Gary!
Oh my God.
I mean, that's what we should talk. I'm looking at right now. I'm checking out the something Simmons on the Tonight Show. No, that's not it, broski. That's not it. But I want to see if there's some big fans in the house here. Yes, you got it. Boom. Wait. What? Right there, Jesse. Jesse got it right there. It's Richard Simmons. Yes, that's the first one. Now, the second one, where was this said? It was said on a show, and it was played over and over again. I want to see if there's any fans in the house here. Yeah, and also we got another one here.
Around?
Sophie, I don't know. I think you wanted to hide him, but there's Richard Simmons, another one there. But I wanted to see if you guys knew exactly where it was played. If you don't get it, it's not a big thing. But so anytime we're talking about Mr. Gensler,
Gary! Gary!
And the clip is actually much longer, but it was a voicemail. Let me see if they got it. Gary Shetland. Nope, not SNL. Nope, not Letterman. You guys are getting close. Oprah. No, not Oprah either. It's I'll give you a giant hint. One of the biggest radio shows ever out of New York City, and currently going today. So let's see if anybody can get it with that clue. That's a good clue right there. The Wendy W. No, that's not. Nope. Hello from Bali. What's up, Gavin? How are you?
From
Bali, Not Wendy Williams. No, that's an interesting guess, but no, it's not Wendy Williams. It is.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so you guys keep going on that, but not Gary Shandling, guys. The number one talk show, Howard Stern, right there, DJ Peter Voss. That was from Stern. That was they made fun of it because Richard Simmons left a voicemail for Gary Baba Booey, and it was like, Gary, are you there? It was like this big long message they played over and over again, and boom. Hats off to DJ Peter Voss for getting Stern, and Sophie's right behind it with Stern. There you go. Yeah, nice. Some good guesses in there, guys. And you got it also. Nice. Yeah, Howard Muhammad got it. There you go.
All right, Ralph Raymond. Hey, guys, assuming I'm bringing it back on track again. Gotta
we venture off a little bit there, Jeff?
Yeah. All right, guys, assuming the SEC lawsuit comes to a settlement soon, do we know what price XRP needs to be for Ripple to be the most valuable company on earth?
I'm going to go with a bazillion quadrillion.
What's the most valuable company right now?
It's
Amazon
like
or Apple?
I think it's Apple right now by a little bit, and then Apple, Google. But I mean, it's
what are they, like 1 point something trillion?
It's in the trillions, right? So I think we have to talk about gazillions. If they get the gazillions or the quadruple trillions, I don't know, something like that.
But they just have to go to a couple trillion, and then they become the most valuable.
Yeah, and Hans also a big shout out here too. Hans says, "Hey Peter, DJ Peter Voss in the house. Thank you for all you do in the community, boss." Yeah, I second that as well. It's also good that he got the Howard man a reference. We went totally off script there, Jeff.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's necessary. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
check out. I just want to
Gary!
Oh, sorry.
Gary!
Sorry.
Chip, hey, just a quick shout out to Casey. That's Gavin's son.
Casey, what's
So-
going on
Yeah, they're over in Bali.
in Bali? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
So it's
how cool is
tomorrow.
that?
It's tomorrow morning then. That's interesting.
Is it? Yeah, I guess it would be.
Yeah. DJ Peter Voss. Yeah, right on, man.
That's it.
Is that the right richest corporation? There you go. Amazon and Apple, Guitar, 029. Yeah.
Yeah. Apple is 2.4 trillion. There you go. Whoops. Here we go. Fun trivia fact: a bazillion quadrillion is the minimum pay in Venezuela.
Oh God, do I love this group? Oh man, do I love the OTC family? God, I love the OTC family. Come in for a group hug. Come on in. Come in for a group hug. Come on in. Come on. Yeah. So hey, I wanted to let's get back into the crypto, Jeff. We somehow got off a little bit on a tangent, but I got to get rid of that Gary. It's driving me nuts. I got to get Gary. We'll just do it live. We'll just do it live. It's so ridiculous, Jeff. Let's share my screen here. Yeah. Gary. Okay, people are like, what the hell's going on? So Robinhood Q2 revenue second quarter doubles. Why, Jeff, you're asking? Crypto trading, the second quarter of 2021, first time where a larger share of the new Robinhood customers placed their first trade in crypto rather than equities. And they soon discovered thereafter that they didn't own the keys, and the only way they can get it off was to sell it. So that happens too. It's not like they could pull the crypto off. Transaction-based revenue from trading increased 233 million in the second quarter compared to only 5 million in the second quarter of 2020. That's some pretty massive growth from 5 million to 233 million. Now the revenue from the crypto trading, this made up more than half of Robinhood's total transaction-based revenue, which was 451 million during the second quarter. So I'm not a genius, Jeff, but I think that was a good play to incorporate crypto. I mean, even the way they made it easy. You click a button, you bought crypto. It's not the same as buying on an exchange. But again, when we're talking about adoption, we're talking about multiple entry points, and whether you're buying it on PayPal or you're buying on Robinhood, look, you're getting into the market.
You're getting into it. You just don't own it. You don't own the crypto. So I did, when Robinhood kind of launched into the crypto space, I said, let me take some money that I had in stock over on Robinhood. Let me redirect it, and I'll put it into the crypto and kind of experience how that process went. And then I just left it there, kind of forgot about it. And then the whole ordeal with GameStop, and there was a lot of questions over the legitimacy of Robinhood at that point. Things kind of went into turmoil. So subsequently, I sold some of my holdings, many of my holdings over on Robinhood, and got them off. And then in retrospect, I said, I wish I wouldn't have done that, but I really wish I wasn't on Robinhood.
Yeah,
because not your keys, not your crypto. And that's a perfect example right there. But from your point though, with that Main Street kind of, getting into and dabbling in crypto, most people aren't going to want to dabble in the not your keys, not your crypto. They're going to want to say, it's my account. I've got to log in a password. I'm comfortable buying crypto this way. And that's going to be the majority of Main Street until you start seeing the Fidelities and all those guys orchestrating, or Coinbase and Uphold and all these others making it easier, even though it's pretty easy now, but even easier for that Main Street adoption. So could navigate it that way. What do you think?
Yeah, but I would say, well, usually the not my keys, not my crypto usually applies, but in the case of Robinhood, there are no keys. So the only way you can, so in other words, on an exchange, a typical exchange, you can move it by sending it to a QR code, sending it to a either another exchange, or moving it off an exchange entirely and putting it into a cold storage wallet. Robinhood is just the only way to the only way you can do something with it is to sell it. That's it. So I think it's kind of a different analogy there. It's like not only they're not your keys, there are no keys to have. They don't give you the keys.
Right.
It's a representation of a unit of, let's say, in Dogecoin, I believe was the number one. The weird thing is they only have like 7 cryptos over there. So given the fact that it's not even a lot, but I mean that's posted $451 million on 7 cryptos. That's impressive, man. That's impressive.
That is.
So,
yep, I agree. Hey, so check this out. So Robinhood, we're talking about some kind of more mainstream type of companies. We all know that MicroStrategy pumped in over $1 billion into Bitcoin. Now we're thinking about this whole crypto revolution at the corporate level. Have we given any thought to companies buying gold? So you have companies leveraging crypto. How about companies leveraging gold? Palantir bought in August $50 million in gold bars as their cash pile grows. So Chip, what do you think? We got MicroStrategy, we got all these big corporations getting into Bitcoin. Why? Because they're concerned about their bottom line, right? They're looking at the changing world. They want to store a value. They want to bolster up the bottom line for these just in case scenarios. So they moved into a limited quantity product. They move into Bitcoin. Palantir moving into gold.
Well,
is there an equal comparison here? What do you think?
Well, it's an interesting move for sure, right? So, I mean, either they feel like, because it's kind of a safe bet. Gold's almost always been somewhat of a safe bet, right? So if things go south, but also they could be believing that there could be something, any kind of currency or a new crypto that comes out that's gold backed, and all of a sudden gold price rises. There's a lot of people right now that believe that gold is artificially inflated due to the paper. That really it should be up in the $30,000 to $35,000 range an ounce, where it's hovering always around 18, 19, 2,000. And I mean, why don't they just go buy Boone's Farm, Jeff? I don't know, distribute to all the employees. Another one of those crazy sort of drinks, but it sounds to me like they're just hedging against the bet. And they're really, I mean, to me, that smells of inflation. If you want to dump it into something safe, Bitcoin's very speculative. You want to dump some asset into a safe asset, dump it into precious metals, dump it into gold, right? I mean, quite honestly, 10 years ago it was $1,100. Now I don't know what the price of it is now, but that to me says that they're it might be a little nervous about the whole of inflation issue, and they got to go ahead and sort of protect some of the money supply. They're not going to throw it all into Bitcoin, because I'm sure they took a little bit of heat from some of the investors, are like, yeah, this is great when we're rising, but that last little dip kind of got us a little bit nervous, and we'd like to see you kind of but 50 million is a joke. I mean, quite honestly.
Well, yeah, all things considered. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's a little, droplet.
But the question is, other companies will buy, stock in gold or something like that. These guys went out and bought physical gold. They bought gold bars. So it's a little bit of a distinction. But I get your point. 50 million is just testing the water. But it's interesting too, because Palantir, as their a data analyst software, and they work a lot in government and they work a lot in private industry, and they seem to be growing exponentially. Gold, I just think it's an interesting move. Why now? Why right now at this moment? It's just
the thing about it is, Jeff, 50 million. Look at what it takes. What you need to store 50 million in gold, and this is how you can store 50 million right there. And use any thumb drive you have laying around, obviously billions of dollars on a little thumb drive. It's like this big is stored on there. And meanwhile, you need a warehouse and guards and 24/7 security, all kinds of stuff. I wanted to talk about some new developments. Moving on with Coil, I thought this was pretty interesting right here. Kind of an interesting development, but Coil put out this tweet a couple hours ago saying, we love the fact that Interledger is open, but is it possible to support other kinds of payments in addition to streaming micropayments? Because obviously we know Coil, and we thank all of you. If you guys all had a Coil, that would be great. Watch it on your computers, because every day after the conclusion of the show, we get little micropayments streamed to us, and it says you received X amount in XRP. It's not a lot, but again, it adds up over a period of time. Interledger is a general protocol for moving money. With Rafiki, we hope to implement the advanced interledger features such as, and I wanted to get into this because these are going to a new level of potential features here. Why can't I, let's see, I guess, there we go. So there it is right there. So currently on Interledger wallets, really the only thing you can do is really get paid with Interledger, right? Now with the Rafiki enabled Interledger wallet, you can send, you can tip creators, pay friends, whatever. You can of course receive, you can do invoices, buy things online, mandates, which would be, you know, subscription-based apps, connecting apps to your wallet. So it really is quite a new development. And it said that we already started working on the architecture for Rafiki, and since it's open source project, we decided to make the development open as well. So you can follow the official Rafiki source code repository, and then they give you, obviously, there's a link to their GitHub showing you the development, all the, you know, all the polls, and you see 5 contributors, 40 issues, you know, blah, 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 3 forks of the code. And there it is right there. But I think I'm just excited because you continue to see new development all the time. And this is, again, another thing that's going to take it to a new level. And that's one of the exciting things about crypto. It doesn't gather any moss, man. It just continues to perpetual motion of development. And one of the things the U.S. is losing out on right now is the fact that a lot of more companies are going to leave. They can't get their story straight with regulation.
Yeah, they're looking at this lack of regulation, crazy infrastructure bills, out of control politicians that are just creating a disaster, you know, just an absolute disaster, you know, across the globe. The world is going to reverberate with problems for decades to come because of what's been happening, you know, over the course of the past months. Unsurprisingly, what just happened over the past couple of days, you know, overseas, and you know, thoughts and prayers to any American citizen or any citizen of any country or anybody that is now in jeopardy over in Afghanistan. It's just it's a disaster. I mean, everywhere we look, it's inexcusable.
I mean, the statement, crazy. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, and it's really embarrassing to be living in a country that this is how you treat your, you know, I mean, I don't want to go any further on that because I'm afraid I'll say something that, well, you know how that works, Jeff.
I do. So, you know, on another note here, check it out. Ethereum staking comes to the Ledger hardware. So if you're storing your Ethereum or any crypto over on the Ledger, as you just mentioned. So now they have the, whoops, I scrolled way too far down. Anyhow, I guess for some reason, the whole article is coming up blank. But anyhow, but that's great, right? So you can now stake Ethereum using Ledger, using a, let's see, what is it? Lido. So using Lido, they have a joint project with Lido. I don't know why the whole article just disappeared. Look at that. They like blanked it out. They weren't so happy about it.
Skaggs, Lido?
Lido.
That's a song, Lido. Whoa,
How bizarre is this? That's the bizarrest thing ever. Yeah,
sometimes you know what happens? Yeah, well, sometimes they pull in stuff from others. You got to see it with those 3 dots right there. Maybe that's the story. Just copy and paste that headline and paste it in there. Yahoo pulls stuff from all over. If you grab that, copy and paste Ethereum.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Holy cow!
Yeah, just
Google it.
Yeah, we'll find
they don't do their own thing. So another interesting development too is so the Treasury Department wants to capture DeFi with infrastructure bill. Jake Chervinsky, he's part of the Blockchain Association. He's also general counsel to Compound Labs. He's warned the general. I think he is. Maybe I got to see if that's right. Am I get that right or not? So he was on a podcast. He said the who's also a DeFi chair of the blockchain. Okay, yeah, he's the DeFi chair of the Blockchain Association. Said the industry was blindsided by this big infrastructure bill's tax provisions. that were announced 9 days prior to when it was expected to pass through the Senate. Now, Chervinsky seemed willing to give most elected officials the benefit of the doubt, noting that previous discussions surrounding the infrastructure bill, it really had nothing to do with crypto. So he had attributed more sinister motives to the Treasury Department. And we know who's at Treasury, right, Jeff? Running the Treasury Department, that's our pal Janet Yellen.
Nobody good.
So a role in influencing. So he's making an accusation that Treasury was influenced in the legislative process. He conceded that he may have donned a tinfoil hat. So he's wildly speculating about this. He said the Treasury Department was looking for an alternative way to invoke the harsh reporting requirements former Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin had sought to impose on self-custody crypto wallets. It's all about DeFi. This is the Treasury Department trying to work out how to get jurisdiction over the DeFi space and also expand its warrantless surveillance over a peer-to-peer. This is some pretty heavy, he's lobbying some pretty heavy accusations here. Chervinsky also stated that he was informed the Treasury Department had initially opposed exempting network validators and software developers from stringent third-party reporting requirements under the bill, and it was concerned that the altered legislation would adequately capture DeFi. That's why we couldn't get the language changed to only capture the centralized exchanges. So it's interesting if you look what he's alleging here. Pretty serious. Can you imagine being running a network validator, or you're developing software and being under this giant thumb of government? I mean, especially the Treasury. He said, we found out quickly it wasn't just the senator's misunderstanding. The Treasury Department played an important role in drafting the legislation and also ensuring that any revision we proposed was going back to the Treasury Department for their approval or their rejection. Now, that is something we didn't know. And it's interesting to see if that's actually, provable or not. But the bottom line is that given how crafty and underhanded government can be, Jeff, I am not shocked nor surprised. And then Chervinsky said that his understanding is the Treasury feared the industry would argue that decentralized exchange liquidity providers and other decentralized finance, DeFi participants are involved in validating transactions, and therefore they should be exempted from the regulation. He said the idea that you would carve out an exemption for what's viewed as a really bad, horrible climate change causing, ocean boiling, proof of work mining, but then not have that exemption for proof of stake validators just made no sense. So there's something going on there, Jeff. I don't know what it is. I mean, Chervinsky's saying one thing. I wouldn't put it past the Treasury Department that they may have been involved with potentially drafting it, but we know there was probably some kind of collusion within government agencies that they were working on this. So I don't know. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think there was some kind of collusion going on there?
Yeah, it's so difficult to really dwell into whether or not there was or wasn't. It just seems like there was,
Right.
I mean, whether there was or wasn't, it just seems like there's way too much, inner workings and, just way too convenient of how things are rolling out. It just seems, overall, it's just interesting, Gensler, Elizabeth Warren, the Treasury Department, the infrastructure bill, all of these things that are operating kind of behind the scenes, not getting voted on, kind of decisions being, pushed in a specific direction based on preconceived notions and agendas. So, whether there was or wasn't, hard to say. It just seems like there is, it just leave it at that.
It sure does, man. It sure does. So I wanted I show you a couple of tweets here. Twitter came out and said, we're testing a feature for you to report tweets that seem misleading as you see them. Starting today, some people in the US, South Korea, and Australia will find the option to flag a tweet as it's misleading. So not only now will the Twitter be able to be the police, now you'll be able to do that too, Jeff, after clicking on the report tweet, right? Because this is obviously a horrible.
Now, what is it going to be, a battle of flagging tweets now? Everyone's going to flag each other's tweets. What a bunch of morons at Twitter. I swear to God.
Well,
these guys have their heads up their asses.
Well, here's the second part of this, right? So it says,
gave them the keys.
Now, this is the best part, Jeff. We're assessing if this is an effective approach, so we're starting small. We may not take action on, we may not respond. It sounds like the SEC now. We might, but not in official capacity. We might not to report each of the experiments.
And it wasn't us.
but your input, they could help us identify trends. So, we could improve the speed and scale of our broader misinformation work. So they want to increase the policing and the stuff that fits the official narrative. So then I just chimed in on it and said, you know what effective approach would be? 100% decentralization. Remember that blue sky thing they have going on there? That's never going anywhere. Blue sky is their decentralization arm that's going to be totally centralized. So they got that girl to go run it and wait till she figures out that it's not going to be decentralized. So
can you flag the flaggers?
No, that's the whole point.
And flag the flaggers.
And the flaggers flag the flaggers. No, you'll just beat the platform because they said, "Oh, people didn't like what you said. I'm sorry, man. You're out, right?
Sorry, you're out of here."
Yeah, there's no way. So I thought that was interesting. And then another one here. So Coinbase, I thought this was interesting. Coinbase had their very first Ask Us Anything. Jericho, who hosts the first ever Twitch AMA. I just joined it right like the minute it was ending. And I wanted to get my question in there. It said, stay tuned for a special announcement you definitely don't want to miss, right? So I tuned into this, but I guess it was after the fact. And so I had, this is my question. I'm like, now do your first ever live customer service representatives available 24/7? I was like, because, I'm just thinking that most people, that would be probably a question, right? Do your first lever, because you can't get anybody. It's like you email, they don't respond via email. You can't even call and said, hello, the time you're going to wait, you are in the queue. It will be 1,764 minutes until someone picks up. Okay, I'll wait. You leave your call on, you know what I mean? Like, you can't even get that. There's just nobody. So anyway.
I'm going to look up this Jack Dorsey Bitcoin. What is, not sure if I'm going to find it. Let's see. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, the fact that he's mining Bitcoin now. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's there's a couple tweets to pull up here. So this one, thanks. Hans Loaded threw this up here. I think that's the one you're referencing. Bitcoin maxi Jack Dorsey is now maxing his Bitcoin mining BTC through a remote hosting service for rigs. But Hans Loaded is referencing a reply about renewable BTC. So I don't know if that was Decrypt said that. But anyhow, check this one out. Check that out. That's an XRP ring. Look at how cool this is.
That's pretty badass right there.
That cool. The color of it's nice. Yeah, that's a really cool ring. I hope he loves it. First titanium XRP ring order done. Blue to green fade on the outside with a solid green inside to contrast. Dude, that's pretty
superhero
sweet.
Wearing that, Jeff. To be honest.
That's exactly right.
Right?
And everyone needs one of those. Check that out.
That's pretty cool, man. I gotta say.
That is pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's really well crafted, man. It's very well crafted.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful piece of.
I wanted to play this other one, but then with the music, we might get a strike. So I'm not going to play it.
Can you take it out of the thing and then turn the sound off?
I could turn the sound off, but then it wouldn't be as fun.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, it ruins it. So never mind. Yeah, I'm not going to play that. So.
You want me to hum a little song behind it?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Bob with the Benny Hill theme. That'd be fun.
That'd be great. Now we just got a strike. He sees. So check it out. Jamaica Central Bank says court order required to track CBDC transactions, which is what I would kind of expect. But the whole point here is that the Bank of Jamaica is now rolling out they just minted their first batch of $1.5 million in CBDCs as part of their pilot program. And they're directing it towards deposit-taking institutions and authorized payment service providers. There was a lot of questions, though, that came up on privacy. And they said, don't worry, because the only way we can... The only way we're required to share information or collect your information is under court order.
Oh, is that all, Jeff? Oh,
I
don't worry at all now, Jeff. It seems perfectly normal.
That's it. Perfectly normal. We're going to collect your data and your transaction history, where you spent it, how you spent it, when you spent it, who you spent it with. Then they're going to investigate, you ate too much food, you had too much to drink.
Yeah, but
you bought too many electronics. That's what's going to happen.
But here's the best part. Remember how crypto is so bad. It's like, it's like, so then you have crypto's bad. CBDCs are good because we can track you. And then you've got fiat, which is there's no tracking involved. You can have boatloads of fiat currency as long as the bills aren't marked, or like you can get rid of them super easy. And that's awesome, right?
Sweet.
So this one, again, more adoption
on a flotilla.
Yeah, that too. So more adoption stuff here. Saw this tweet here by the Cryptocurrency News. I actually seen John Deaton retweet this one. Global crypto adoption has risen by more than 881% in the past year, led by Vietnam, India, and Pakistan.
That's amazing.
So look at this right.
I'm shocked by that, actually.
Well, so the overall index rating, so it breaks it into, an index score on chain received to this one gets a 4 value and this and everything, but it's like kind of showing you, the US is 0.22, but look at Vietnam, man. Look at India. Remember, it's like they're going to outlaw India, and then no, they're not going to outlaw India. Well, they might. They know. Confusing. So I thought that was pretty impressive right there. I thought that was interesting, man.
On chain value, on the chain value received. See that on the chain, on chain.
Well, it's on chain. That's where we got on the chain.
On chain value.
It's on the chain, not on chain. Well,
on the chain,
off
they
chain,
made a mistake. They made a mistake. It should say on the chain.
Apparently they did. But even Afghanistan, look at Afghanistan, 0.13. That's going to shoot right through the roof.
Oh, that's going to be insane. Their index score is going to be over Vietnam pretty soon.
Tanzania, Ghana's in there, Brazil, Thailand, Colombia, Argentina.
Huh.
So, yeah. So I thought that was a pretty interesting stat. Again, 881%. That's something. That's massive, man.
That's big.
That's a huge
big
deal.
News. That's really big news. Look at considering the countries that it's in, they're all looking to leverage their money, and they're also trying to protect their money. They're looking for a means of store value. Every one of those countries has an issue with currency.
Every one of them. And then, so Jeff, here's another thing. So we talk about, and the train of mass adoption continues to roll down those tracks. Here we have a story from the Daily Hodl. Publicly listed mortgage company announces plans to accept payments in Bitcoin and crypto. Which again, look at that's pretty cool image right there.
By that building right there, that big circular.
Yeah. So New York Stock Exchange listed mortgage firm United Wholesale Mortgage Holdings says it intends to accept cryptocurrency as a form of payment. An earnings call on the release of the company's Q2 21 results. CEO of the publicly listed firm, Matt Ishbia, said the plan could take effect in the coming months. But again, at least this is a company that's forward thinking and say, look, we're looking to look at it as currency. Here's a use case. This will want to play the Gary Club. Gary. So Gary, pay attention, will you? Gary. Because here's a company, all these companies who want to accept cryptocurrency as a currency, right? As a form of payment. And again, there's so many of these coming out. He says, I think we're starting with Bitcoin, but we're looking at Ethereum and others. We're going to walk before we run. Well, that's what you would expect, but they're going all in. And I think that's pretty amazing. He said the announcement comes, the company's total gains margin saw a drop in the second quarter amid a rise in the volume of closed mortgages, but that has a lot more to do with the industry. More so probably does than with this mortgage company. But again, Jeff, more mass adoption. It's right there. It's at our fingertips. I got to see that Johnny Crypto. Man.
Wait till you see the custom XRP logos he's making.
Well, we got to figure out how to get some of those custom logos on the chain here, man. That's what we got to figure that out. We got to figure that out. Of course, we will pay you for them, so we'll just hit us up. Hit us up on Twitter.
Sweet.
We'd love to check out the gear, man.
Jim D is wondering what wallet supports the Flare token. MetaMask seems like a pain
I will show you.
Ass.
I will show you. Thank you for asking. Okay. Pull it up right here since you wanted to know.
What's it going to be? Is it a wallet?
It's a wallet, and it's an awesome one.
Does it start with an X?
Nope.
Does it start with a Z?
Not even close. Not even close, man.
Does it start with an F?
Not even close, dude. Not even
the Flare token. You can put it on Coinbase. You can put it on Uphold.
It's the Bfrost.
The
Bfrost.
Never heard of it.
You have. We've talked about it on here, Jeff. We have talked
Never.
about it. So yeah, we have talked about it. It's the Norse pronunciation of it. It's the Bfrost Wallet. Let me go. Bfrost. Bfrost is how it's pronounced, but it looks like Bifrost. We would say Bifrost.
Yeah, it's the Bifrost. Yeah,
But it's Bfrost. That's the there you go, right there. So what do you see right there, Jeff? There's Spark token, there's the FXRP, there's Gala, there's Ethereum, Dogecoin, RI, so Litecoin. But this wallet is going to be awesome. Really looking forward to this one coming out. I thought it was supposed to launch by now, but it's going to be
available in the US or no?
It will be. Yeah, they haven't relaunched it yet.
For the Bifrost.
Bfrost.
Bfrost.
It's like you have a beef roasting in the oven. That's the pronunciation.
Is it a BIT frost or a BI frost?
Beef roast. So it's the Norse pronunciation. Of course. Somebody will probably correct me in the comments, and that's all right.
Yeah.
We're gonna invite users in stages. I signed up really early, but I don't know. You have to like check your email. It sounds trustworthy.
Oscar says it sounds trustworthy, so there you go.
Well, it is. Oscar would know because also that's the Icelandic. I saw that. What did that say here? So what does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It's let's see. There is a reason they named it that.
It is not beef roast. It's like Bifrost from the movie.
Well, I'm just saying. Here it is right there. So here it is right here, dude. So maybe they're wrong. So yes, it's pronounced like the delightful dinner that can be made in the crock pot. So
there you go. Beef.
So I don't know.
Roast.
Bifrost, beef roast. I guess it depends what language you're looking at it in.
If you're doing it from here in the US, it's Bifrost. Bifrost. Bifrost.
It's the rainbow bridge that reaches between Midgard, Earth, and Asgard, the realm of the gods. So it's kind of that bridge, which makes sense being a wallet.
XRP Panic said, I hope that flare launches before I die. I'm 42.
Hey, man. I'm not going to say anything, man, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of weird things have happened.
It could be 40 years plus.
Yeah. So
didn't Ripple open an office in Iceland? Oscar, is there a Ripple office in Iceland? Dude, how cool would that be? Go to Reykjavik and check out the Ripple office in Reykjavik. And that'd be sweet.
That would be sweet, man. Yeah, I'd like to go to Reykjavik. So I actually knew somebody from there. Other than that's where nobody's from. But anyway, so
happy when I left and kind of traveled. So get out of the town. It was pretty sweet though. Yes, there is. Yes. It is sweet. Chip, you're muted. You muted yourself. You've muted yourself.
Sorry about that. I was actually clicking around my screen. I would say you guys can like, subscribe, click that notification bell. And yeah, there you go right there. Boom, flip it up. Like, subscribe, click that notification bell. Ding, 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 ding. And you can follow us on Twitter @OnTheChain with underscores between each one of the words. And again, guys, we really want to thank you for your support tonight. Each and every one of you for coming in here, making us laugh, making us think, and just making it a party. So there you go. We appreciate that.
That's it. It's awesome, Chip. Did you know that we stream 6 days a week? We actually do. We do. For real.
I knew that.
Yep. Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's so many great things going on. Tomorrow is another day, another night, and we're looking forward to being back tomorrow. And you know what, Chip? We have by far the smartest subscribers and viewers in the whole of YouTube crypto space. So huge shout out to everyone on. Huge thank you to everyone on. Did I hear somebody say cassettes? What was that?
The usual, sir. Please.
Blues. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. But guys, come on night. We'll do it all over again. We'll have new stories. The same goofy banter, the same derailed conversations, but we'll do
same stories. We'll take a different perspective on them.
Come on back. We'll have another great time. Guys, we'll see you. Chip and Jeff signing off. We'll see you on the next one.
We're out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.